I got the mic. Yeah, that course was great. I have to say that after taking that course, I really fell in love with my classmates and the instructors. I'm a sinner and a liar. Honest. I started when I was really young. The first Friday of every month, I would go to confession and lie to the priest about the sins I committed. Because I didn't have any. So I made shit up. It never occurred to me to say I don't have any sins to confess. But what if I had? What would he have said? You're lying? Or I could have gone into the confessional and said, Father, it's been a month since my last confession, and the only sin I have to confess is that I lied last month about the sins I committed. Father Donnie was a drunk. He always had the smell of booze on his breath, and he always started the Mass at least 10 minutes late. That infuriated me. Because if it started late, it was going to end late. And that meant I had to sit there that much longer. And I fucking hated church. So one Sunday morning, I said to my parents before we left for church, I said, let's call Father Donnie and ask him what time the 8 o'clock Mass starts. Yeah, they laughed too, but did they call him? No. We left at the same time. He was late again. As I got older, my parents would send my older brother, my sister, and I to church on Saturday night. We loved that. We'd take a leisurely drive through the countryside, arriving at church well after Mass had started. Cruise slowly through the parking lot, and then carry on to the nearest bar. And then we all smelled like Father Donnie. The next morning, when our parents asked us who'd been at church the night before, we'd list off all the names of the people that had been there based on the cars we'd seen in the parking lot. We lived on a dairy farm. And one morning, I was puking my way around the barn when my mother said, "Were you drinking last night?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "What were you drinking?" And I said, "Gin?" And she shook her finger at me and she said, "You are never drinking gin again." And I thought, you're damn right, lady. That stuff is gross. I'm switching to rye. My mom also told me if she ever caught me doing drugs, she'd rip my ears off. And I believed her. And I thought, what if I get sick? How will I get better? I didn't have a clue what drugs she was talking about. But I do now. Oddly enough, it was my sister who was a year younger than me. Yeah, I know you're sitting there. She first introduced me to drugs. I was impressed. That girl had connections. She asked me if I wanted to smoke a joint with her. Yahoo! Of course. So while our parents were at church, we went upstairs, climbed out of the bathroom window onto the roof of the house, and smoked the joint. It felt like we were only there about 5 or 10 minutes before we heard the familiar rumble of our parents' car driving over the wooden bridge in our laneway. Yikes. You have never seen two teenage girls dive through a tiny bathroom window as fast as we did. We raced down the stairs into the kitchen and started making lunch just as our parents walked in. And we tried to act completely normal. That was hard. We tried also to avoid eye contact with Mom because we didn't want her ripping our ears off. Recently, I was accused of acting like a Canadian. Imagine that. Because I love rules. They keep order. My favorite rules are the ones I make myself, especially when I'm driving. For example, do not cut me off. But if I cut you off, it's probably because you were speeding. Had you not been speeding, I would have had ample time to pull out in front of you. Also, if I am courteous and let you in front of me, that doesn't mean that you have to let someone in front of you. If everyone else practices a stupid random act of kindness, I am never going to get to where I'm going. If the speed limit is 60 and everybody else is doing 90, for God's sakes, keep up. And if you insist on driving the suggested speed limit of 60 and you're in the left lane and everyone else is passing you in the right lane, you are the slowest driver, so either move over or get the fuck off the road. When you come to a yellow light, if there aren't any cops around, boot it. And if you're driving through a school zone and the kids are fenced in, there is absolutely no fucking reason to slow down. Those kids are contained. Thank you. I just wanted to add that if anyone needs a ride home tonight, come see me at the break. Thanks.